Yeah, follow, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Hype the channel if that option is available. We're on our way, cruising toward 100K. And, this Pantera album in full will be in the Patreon link below if you want to see the full reaction. Nevertheless, we will be dropping these track by track on the YouTube, so stay tuned for that. But, look, full access to the vault, Patreon, lots of things that will not drop on YouTube. Only $5 for full access, so please support your boy. I deeply appreciate you. And now let's get right into Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power. Yo, where does Pantera get these riffs, bro? Where did they... Like, these guys are really, really space aliens, man. Because it starts off so simple. Dome, 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 dome. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And then they just break off and fragment into this beautiful, kaleidoscope. Listen to that transition one more time. Yo, this Pantera kind of shows off. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, bro. I think that they know. I think they realize sometimes in jam sessions, they're like, hey guys, do you want to just go like a minute just showing everybody like the progression, that there's levels? You know what I'm saying? Like some of these riffs, bro, that they go off, every 8 bars they change it, and it's flame. Yeah. Listen, shout out to Rex Brown too. I haven't given Rex any love, during this, and it's my fault because I have a tough time distinguishing, like the bass sound. Like for me, I'm gonna have to get better at my metal breakdowns and understanding the bass. Ugh. That's so crazy. Bro, Pantera got so lucky with their setup of these 4 guys. Philip, Dimebag, Daryl, Vinny, and Rex. It's just, sometimes something just kind of falls into your lap. I haven't done a lot of research into how they got started, but dang, do they have like the Fantastic Four. Full of grief, I screamed out the wind. Thought I heard the words of others. So we got a little bit of Psychosis there, full of grief, screaming at the wind, thinking you're hearing voices. Imprison myself and stay in a shell. I won't let you in to have a story to tell. Ooh. Things tend to drag me down. Don't understand, so they hate me now. My fear grips the will of stone. My grip fears I'll die alone. Ooh. Guys, are they breaking down the consequences here? Right? Because if we have followed them all the way through here to track 8, you know what I'm saying? Which is called Live in a Hole. Once again, I mean, there's boot camp that we've been through. There's a redefining of terms. We went through that at the end of the last track, and it kind of seems that here we finally are. It's like, hey, listen, when you decide to buck against the societal rules, when you decide to escape the game that everyone else is playing, yeah, there's benefits to that. Oh, but there's also stress. There's the fear of isolation. People will isolate you, and then you have to kind of go through this this paranoia, this like, man, I'm an outsider. I'm treated as an outsider, right? There's consequences. Family, listen to me. Hear me out. I'm forgetting the name, and so I have to go to the Oracle really quick. Pardon me, please. Who was the philosopher that told Alexander the Great, stay out of my light, stand out of my light?
That was Diogenes of Sinope.
Diogenes. Family, this song reminds me of Diogenes, and I might, retitle, because I write down the thumbnail when I'm listening to songs, and it might be Diogenes, right? Diogenes encapsulated what this song seems like it's about. Diogenes had decided to buck against the system. He's like, I'm not going to live by these fake rules, by these fake games that everyone is playing, these contradictory rules and the double binds. I'm going to live outside of the city in a box. And Alexander the Great heard of this great philosopher Diogenes and decided to visit him, and went to the box that he lived in. And Alexander the Great was such a fan of this man's philosophy that he's like, look, give me anything that you want and I'll give it to you. Anything in the world that you could imagine that you want, I will give it to you. And Diogenes said famously, stand out of my light. You're blocking the sunlight. That's all I want from you is to get out of the way of the sun. Bars, right? Because the thing is, you are going to have to give up something. Like when you give up, the rules and the hierarchy and all of the promises of luxury and all this stuff that comes with the game. Yeah, you might find yourself living in a box, or in the case of this song, live in a hole.
Stay close to my kind, 'cause they understand what burns in my mind. Yeah.
It's very important to stay close to your kind. When he says live in a hole, but stay close to my kind, because you're never the only one. When you decide to make that move of integrity and say, look, the culture is a little bit toxic, so I'm going to move out of this particular part of you don't move all the way out of the culture. I'm not saying literally go live in a hole. I'm saying when you decide not to play society's games anymore, there's other people who've decided to make that same decision. Find those groups, right? So that you can maintain your integrity in the midst of that struggle.
Still feeling complete. Friends are few and far between.
Friends are few and far between.
Fear grips the will of stone. My grip feels I'll die alone.
He says, my grip fears I'll die alone. And that's the threat, right? They say, hey, if you don't go with what these institutions are telling you, you're going to die alone. If you don't go with what this religious institution, what this educational institution, if you don't spoon feed, if you don't spoon feed, or if you don't let us spoon feed you, what we want to spoon feed you. If you don't act as a blank canvas that we can paint our picture on, you'll die alone. And that's one of our greatest fears, right? But he's like, he's just admitting it, saying, look, I have this fear that in response to my integrity, there's going to be trouble. And there always will be. This album is so fire. Yo! Daryl just comes in there and obliterates the song. Guys, it's so important that Pantera put that track in there. That it's like, it's not all fun and games. There's lots and lots of risk that comes with speaking truth to power. And you have to be willing to absorb the shots that are coming your way. Bro, this album is definitely flame. And we're going right into the next one. Immediately. Yeah! What happened? We switched it up automatically.